Hello, folksicles. Let's do this. Hello, folksicles. Right, straight off from the start. Sorry about the little delay starting up. Technical issues. Kicked everything in and then immediately, this needs updating, that needs updating. Right, second thing, in all honesty, I'm a bit under the weather. I'm still feeling a bit down and I'm not. So, if I suddenly do a disappearing act running through that door, apologies. How are we, folks? It is I, Lemel. Wrapping up. You can't see what I'm doing right now. I'm just finishing off a little bit for the book. Now, I'm here mainly to just basically chat and do a bit of things. Fred might pop up. Like I say, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I didn't want to cancel the show again. But like I say, if I have to disappear quick sharpish, I do apologise. Just putting some gravel down. Hello. Well, we're waiting. What do you think of the Distinction Rebellion fiasco? These guys are going, leave politics out of it. Real world, we leave at home, mate. Come on in, Fred.
Hello there.
Hello. How are you doing, mate?
I'm fine. How are you doing? All right?
Yeah, not bad. Don't speak about this.
No, I'm not. Oh, I just used varnish on something. Spray fix, Stevens. Smells like gin and tonic times 100.
You pining, are you, mate?
I quite like the taste of gin and tonic. I always thought the smell of it was a bit weird though. It's a funny smell, gin, isn't it? It's like perfume.
Do you know what? I don't know. I don't really know the drink.
It's like perfumey. Gin,
Right.
yeah.
Everyone's saying hi, Fred, Jeremiah, Max,
Everybody.
Norman, Tam, Del, Joanne.
All right. I brought my glasses tonight so I can actually read the comments. So usually it's just blurry. I remember my glasses tonight.
Well, that's one of us on the ball then. I'm still feeling a bit down.
Pat has posted the picture has been finished on the terrainiacs page.
Oh, has it?
Yeah,
Excellent.
She said it's been getting some very interesting comments from people. Yeah,
That's a brilliant. Fred's recently done a bit. First time in pastels, first piece, isn't it?
it is. Yes, yeah. Give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. But it's an ocean scene with the watercolours that we did for the Atlantic, wasn't it?
That's right, North Atlantic. Yeah, yeah, with that slightly greenish
Yeah,
cast to it. Yeah, aquamarine.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a lovely colour. It's like turquoise.
Yeah, teal.
Yeah, teal. Yeah, it's call it nowadays. But it's like because of the algae and the microorganisms and the
You
water.
only know that because of my show.
I know, yeah. Well, that's the wonderful thing about art is that you're on a learning curve all the time about the world. You know,
And
so-
everything else.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right, hey Mel, take care of yourself. If you must step away, see you next show. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. To be perfectly honest, yeah, about 15 minutes before the show, so I don't know. I'm doing my best. I know I'm not on tip-top form, yeah, but I'm trying, and I didn't want to miss the show. Yeah, and like I say, I know I've been distant from the channel as this last mad rush. Well, not rush, but push to get it finished.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you've got a deadline, haven't you, really?
Yeah, and we're still in the deadline and everything. Yeah. We're okay. Yeah, we're coming close, but I mean, I don't want to deliver late, ultimately.
Of course
not. But
not,
at the same time, if we deliver a month late, yeah. You see, the one thing that's going through my mind isn't so much me doing this, yeah. And I know we don't bring politics into it, but we've possibly got a change in how we trade with Europe and that sort of thing, and we're not quite sure, and we're not sure if that'll have a knock-on effect with getting things through customs and stuff like that. Yeah, so we're hopeful, but much like pretty much everyone else, we're in the dark on this one.
Of course, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's not good for business, really.
No, but at the same time, the one thing that goes through my mind is rich people always have to make money, so it's a problem that's going to get sorted.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not overly concerned. But it's hard to turn around and go, yeah, it's definitely going to be, we can turn around and talk about our schedules and the printers' schedules and the fulfillment, yeah. But when you're talking about international politics not being stable at the minute,
right,
how the hell do you make a determination on that as an artist?
Yes, it's true. Often artists are international, so they trade, all over the world. So these things can have quite an effect on artists. Actually.
Well, it has an effect on me because obviously most of the actual trading agreements that I sort of earn my money under are negotiated through the EU with Google and YouTube and page. Yeah, because EU regulations.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so All these organisations are then going to have to adapt to all their UK customers.
We're not a .com here, we're a .uk, aren't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, to be truthful, my hope was, that if it does change, that there would at least be an adaptation and sort of take on of all the regulations, so business could just roll a bit, rather than having all right, everything's the same in the law, so technically all our agreements still stand.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Nobody wants to fall out with Europe. I mean, nobody wants to fall out with other countries.
I mean, you've got to understand, it can actually be quite worrying, guys, to be perfectly honest, because when I was deep delving into this, I found examples of where, because of legislation and the difficulty of YouTube working with them, they've switched off services to certain countries.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, for example, I believe in Spain, you can't get Google News because there's a liability in the law, specifically with Spanish law. Yeah. And Google decided it was easier, just to not provide the service to Spain.
I know there's some countries, for political reasons, don't allow their citizens to access.
Oh, yeah. But that's different. Yeah. But fundamentally, there's various copyright rules going through the EU that, Google and YouTube have been protesting about. So I don't know how they're going to... All I can hope is the fact that with the EU with Europe being such a large base of customers, English-speaking customers mainly, because Western world and that sort of stuff, outside the US, it's too big of a slice of a pie to walk away from.
Well, yes. I mean, there's trade deals that have been established for decades, if not longer than that.
Yeah, so, and people are making money off them, so I'm hoping it pans out.
Yeah, I think it's the politics that's the problem at the moment. I think everything else will work fine.
I mean, just to be clear, guys, and not worry, if things do change, there are loads of hosting platforms. I'm connected. We will continue to roll. We will adapt.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just unnerving. You know what I mean?
I think there's a lot of folks who feel a little uncertain, and of course that puts a crimp in business. So people don't make orders or put in orders or don't buy things because they're waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, that's often the case. To be truthful, that is often the case. So we will just. What about Brexit in the book? Brexit in the book. I mean, to be truthful, other than shipping the book out, Brexit shouldn't influence the book because. The Kickstarter was actually run by Dave. Now, Dave is a US company, The publishers are in Europe, and although Britain may be leaving Europe, Dave is still a US dealing with Europe, and the only way England factors in is once the books are published, our fulfillment centre is in England, and so we need to just get them into England. Then, little concerns over customs and delays getting them through that. But, I mean, everyone's going to be shipping goods. It's going to be a common problem. It's going to get sorted. And overall, the financial transactions and the business... I mean, basically, Brexit only really affects, sort of postage with regards to the book project. Because all the legals, all the financials are between the US and a country that is... remaining in Europe, so nothing's changed from when we started. So we're not worried on that count.
But most of my art materials come from Europe.
We'll still be able to get them, mate.
I think so. I'm rooting for a deal. But,
I mean, we've just got to leave it in the hands and hope sensible minds prevail.
My paints come from Holland. My brushes and pencils come from Germany. My pastel services come from France. There's not very much comes from here at all. My canvas comes from France.
Right, let's not talk about riots. Let's not talk about anything else that isn't directly related to the channel. I mean, I know we're covering slightly politics, but I don't want to go there.
Yeah, it's already all over the news, isn't it?
Yeah, Kat's also saying that the book's coming out in spring. Brexit is supposed to happen at the end of this month, technically. Yeah. So actually, we've got a really nice long lead time for the powers that be to actually figure it out before we actually need to ship them from, the publishers into the UK.
Yeah.
So overall, to be truthful, obviously it's a little bit up in the air, and no one likes things up in the air, but. Of my concerns, it's not a major one because there's bugger all I can do about it, and I figure it will get sorted one way or another.
Yeah.
You know, as these things do. Yeah, striking hand, nothing to worry about. Companies still need to make money regardless of change in regulation.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell's saying we've been dealing with them for decades before. We'll be dealing with them decades after. People need to stop flapping. Yeah, I think we just need a sensible approach. You know what I mean? That's what it's looking like to me. You know, so all we can do is, you know, and luckily, I mean, even with the politics, yeah, generally, politicians and politics, they love playing games. But fact of the matter is, business runs the world. You know what I mean? And there comes a point where business has enough.
Economics,
and, you know, politicians' backsides get a kicking and to sort stuff out. And it's happened in the past, and you see this. And I think that's what we're looking at. So I'm not over... It's a concern, but to be perfectly honest, I've got far more pressing things to worry about. And I don't... It's difficult because fundamentally you're just a bystander. You're sitting in... Essentially, and I don't want to be political here, and I'm not calling the entire process a car crash, but the analogy is you're in the back of a car crash with no control.
No control over the steering,
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So you've just got to sit and ride it out and see how you come out at the other end.
Yes.
You know, it isn't ideal, but it is the situation we're in.
Yeah, well, the politicians will always make a meal out of everything, won't they, really?
That's
It's
their job.
what they do.
It distracts from them actually doing the proper job.
Yeah. Hello, Kat.
Hello.
Just said hello.
Right, have you got any questions? If you've got any questions about paint or colours or anything like that, feel free to throw them at Fred.
I was just talking to a painter the other day, and he was talking about painting gold, and he was trying to get, without actually using gold paint, he was trying to use yellow paint and making it look like gold.
That's your Brown story, isn't it?
And it's the lovely story about Delacroix, when he had the same problem in 1840 something, and he was trying to paint gold in a picture, and every time he painted it, it just looked like yellow, and he couldn't get his gold to look like his yellow to look like gold. So he decided to go down to the Louvre, so he called a taxi. And in those days, the taxi cabs were bright yellow. And it turned up, this bright yellow taxi, of course a horse-drawn one in those days, of course, and this bright yellow taxi turned up on a sunny day, and as he was stepping into it, he noticed it was casting a purple shadow. And the purple shadow next to the yellow of the cab made the yellow look like gold. So he didn't bother going to the Louvre, he went straight back in his studio, paid the cab driver, went straight back in his studio, and put purple next to his yellow, and his yellow instantly looked like gold. And the moral of the story is, if the colour doesn't look right, try putting a colour next to it that's a complementary colour, because sometimes...
Is that right?
Yeah, putting one colour next to another colour can completely change the context of the colour you're looking at. So yellow becomes gold if you put purple next to it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and green and red are lovely together as well. If you put those together, the green makes the red look redder, and the red looks greener against the green. So.
Right, Trosaxin, I know you're a fan of teddy bear mats. I like playing with them, yeah. Why do you think that they haven't taken off? I've just finished my first 3x3, and I'm psyched at how well it turns out. I think fundamentally the issue with teddy bear mats is that, they're a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work.
You have to tell me what that is. I'm not sure what a teddy bear mat is.
You know teddy bear fur?
Yeah.
You can stain it with acrylic.
Oh goodness, yeah, it looks like grass.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what they're talking about.
Feel the grass,
this is teddy bear fur. These are the things that we're playing with. Yeah.
Looks like the Ukraine.
And what we were doing is basically we were just putting water on, brushing them through, trying to figure out how to get it through. I think it was me and Corb.
Yeah, you're dyeing it, yeah?
It's just acrylic paint, so it's not a dye.
Oh, I see,
Yeah. And so we're just experimenting with it, but it takes so much brushing.
I can imagine, yeah, because it's very soft, isn't it?
Well, you've got to brush the excess fur off first.
Yeah,
and then actually brushing through the acrylic to spread it through the fibres. So I think that's why it hasn't taken off, to be truthful.
Well, at least it hasn't made it go kind of like stiff and kind of rigid. So it's still retained its
I mean, once it's brushed, it is soft and it is great.
Yeah.
But the actual workload in getting it to that stage, it's considerable, and it's hard work physically. I mean, it's you're only brushing, but you're looking at an hour or two.
Yeah.
You know, of
just keeping on doing it. Yeah. I suppose half of the problem there is probably because there's an electrostatic charge in the fibre of the teddy bear fur, and that's going to repel the paint.
Quite possibly. I hadn't even factored that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yes, we see all the things, all his mistakes. You see my mistakes. It was Willow, not Core, but yeah, it was Willow, wasn't it? Hairbrushing. Do you use inks and washes, or like Fred said, maybe dyes? I've got a load of them, to be truthful. We ordered a load of them, but got sidetracked as usual with the book. And and just got to the stage where I need to go back and do it, but I want to get these bits finished first.
Yeah. And in answer to the question there, any chance of another colour lesson with Fred? I mean, Mel and I are talking about doing some more in the future, in the near future, aren't we?
We've actually got a project on, haven't we? We've got an idea.
We do, yes.
Yeah, the idea is that, that we're going to try and get together weekly. And me and Fred are going to build a board. Yeah? And the idea is I'm going to teach Fred the, the building techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fred's going to handle the colours. Yeah, now actually, we haven't decided what we're building.
Not yet, no, but I think I was very interested in the bocage piece that you were doing.
Oh, yeah.
You started the other week, so that'll be a good starting point. The sunken lanes. Or as you pointed out, they're not sunken lanes, they're raised fields.
Raised fields? Well, raised edge of fields.
Yeah.
Because it's where the debris has been pushed up since. I mean,
the
bocage hedges were laid down by William the Conqueror.
I know, yeah, the Normans, yes.
Yeah, it was the first sort of like division of land of Normandy.
Yes.
When...
Yeah.
I mean, was it William? Yeah, I mean, William the Conqueror, that was Rollo's grandson, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so, after the Normandy being the land of the Northmen.
Yeah, Norsemen, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was part of the dividing up of the territory.
Settled by the Vikings in that area.
To make sure they all had a bit of, land and that sort of stuff. So,
yes,
they were put in, back in the 10th century.
Yeah.
And they were just rock divisions, and it's only the debris from the fields that have been pushed constantly up to the edges that have built them up. And ended up with the roads sunken.
It's amazing what civil engineering feats they were capable of in the ancient times, actually. I'm always amazed what they could do. I always remember being quite surprised about the Somerset levels, because all that land is all reclaimed land, and that was reclaimed in the 12th century, and it was monks that did that. They built dikes along the coast there, and it just stopped, and then they drained the land. But it must have taken 100 years to do it. And you wouldn't think monks would have the tools and the equipment and even the knowledge to do something like that, but probably they
no distractions. And lots of manpower.
Lots of manpower and lots of time. Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it the Romans? I'm not sure if I was watching a Lindy Birch video. He's another YouTuber. Yeah, does historical military stuff and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But they were talking about, the Roman forts, how they built a fort at the end of every day's march.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it's like a massive
soldiers,
fort.
Yeah.
But he actually turned around and said, if you actually divide the workload by the actual number of soldiers in the fort, turns out they've each got about 5 minutes work.
Really?
In actually constructing it, and then they're done.
Yeah. Wow. So they arranged it really...
Yeah, but you do this bit, you do this bit, you do this bit, and it's done rapidly.
Yeah. Very efficient, yeah. Amazing people, actually. It's quite remarkable what they achieved, really.
What does the UK produce? We've got a thriving weapons industry. An excellent financial system that's known as the fraudulent one in the world.
Make good frigates too. I think they've just made an aircraft carrier in Scotland as well. I seem to remember. Cost quite a bit of money.
The new Queen Elizabeth. That's the one that the new F-35s are on, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. State of the art.
State of the art.
Yeah.
I could tell you some stories about them.
Aircraft carriers, yeah.
No, the new fighters.
Oh, the what was it? F-16s?
Yeah. F-35s.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, Des, isn't he? Airframes.
Sorry.
Eldest lad, he works with them. Well, he's worked with them.
Oh, right, yeah. What, building them?
Maintaining them.
Engineering. Maintenance, yeah. RAF, yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah, that's a skilled job.
Oh, it is.
Gosh, it is very high tech, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
What amazes me is how anybody can fly them, because the decision-making process to fly one of those is like nanoseconds, and only young people can fly them because, I mean, somebody my age, my decision my brain just wouldn't work fast enough. I'd be crashing into a mountain before I knew where I was.
Truthful, a lot of the decision making is actually not in your hands.
It's computerised.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of exact that reason, thinking time.
Yeah. It's they're so fast. Those things are incredible.
Right, let's have a look. When are we going to get our books? Aiming at February, as we said. And it's still looking that way.
Yeah.
Although, prior conversations that we had earlier in the show. Yeah, but like I say, by the time it gets to shipping the book, politics and what's going on with Brexit won't be an issue.
Well, springtime's a good time to bring out a book like that, actually, because when you think about it, people can, use the information in there, and it's springtime, they'll be able to open the window, and they're painting or varnishing or making their builds. In the winter.
Oh, we build all year round, mate.
Yeah, I know we do. Yeah, we're the professionals. But a lot of people that do it as a hobby or
spring. Everything starts up in spring at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is always a good idea to have a window open or some air circulation in your room.
Yeah.
Using volatile.
Hey guys, we're watching tonight as Charlotte is snowed under with work. Have a good one, JT. Lindy Bridge has a great collection of weapons and likes to show them off. He certainly does. I do like Lindy. What do you call it? Good watching. Hope the deadline is not a hard one. If the book isn't ready, I will wait. To be truthful, that's the process we've taken, and maybe a little bit behind where we wanted to be, but it's because of the effort we're putting into the book.
The best things in life are worth waiting for.
Yeah, you know
Absolutely,
what I mean. And in all honesty, I've never written a book before, and so when you're coming up with a schedule for something like that, do you know what I mean? It's difficult to actually turn around and be realistic about knowing how long it's going to take to write 120,000 words.
It's very difficult to know in advance exactly how you're going to plan that out and how that's going to work. I know.
Do you want a stool or something, mate? Save you.
Yeah, I can do that.
Save you standing.
It's hard work writing, actually. People don't realise how hard it is. I know. I can remember doing 4,000 word thesis. It took me about 5 weeks to do it. I was exhausted by the time I finished the thing.
You know what? If I have a mental session, I have like a 14-hour writing session.
Yeah.
I can do 4,000 words.
Good heavens, yeah.
Yeah, in one sitting.
I can do that. I just fuse out, I think.
That's crazy.
I don't think my brain would be up to that.
Paint outside all year round. Yes, Kat, we know you've got a lovely place where you live. But I don't want the wildfires and I don't want the earthquakes. So I'm happy with painting indoors.
But California is beautiful. I know. I've been there. It's a lovely place.
Yeah, Kat's sort of explaining why it's just the picture of us, because other than what you can see on the screen, everywhere is book stuff. Yeah, and I need to keep it sort of under wraps.
Yes. Well, you've got to keep the surprise element as well for people.
Oh yeah, of course. You know what I mean? Especially with the lead time.
Yeah.
If it was coming out and they were getting it next week.
Yes.
I'd be, have a look at this, have a look at this.
We could have a little few features.
Yeah, but with it being so long.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, no.
Outside of Christmas,
What's a little shaking now and then? Small inconveniences. You hardcore, Pat.
I was reading something just the other day. Actually, nowadays people don't shake things before they use them because most modern things that you buy have something in that makes it so you don't have to shake it. So it's kind of got like a stabilizer in it or something. I can't remember what it's called now. So that you don't have to shake.
Are you talking about paints and stuff like that?
Or foods or general household goods and everything. But actually I was going to say most artist materials, most paints, most kind of things that crafts and arts people use usually require a shake before you use it. Varnish, spray fixed, anything like that.
Our paints do. Our paints are heavy pigmented, but in a liquid binder,
so a good idea to give
they
it a
always
shake.
Separate.
Yeah.
Although it's nice to see what colours make your paints up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you leave it long enough, it will settle down to the bottom in layers. So
I've got quite a few paints that go like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've seen that happen more than once.
Yeah, it's a dispersant, I think they put in a lot of things nowadays, which means that the particles of whatever it is suspended in the solution that you don't need to shake it. But like I say, most art and craft materials you do.
Right. With regards to politics, guys, drop it or I'll start putting people in timeout. We've discussed what's relevant to the book and It's not what I come here for, and it's not what we come here for, guys. So, yeah, let's not get heavy-handed, and I don't want to have to do moderating and all that palaver, but let's just drop the politics now. Because, to be truthful, I'm sick of it.
Yeah. In the end, these things work themselves out.
Yeah.
And it's really actually only stressful to worry about it, actually, because it's something that's out of your control anyway, so that just increases your stress. Yeah.
Very much so.
That's always something I think about the news, actually, watching the news. I always watch the news always with, just one eye, if you like, because if you watch it, if you take it all in, it stresses you out.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because the news is always bad.
It's bad news, and there's nothing you can do about it, really, or very little you can do about it. So,
bad news sells.
Yeah, there's never any good news on the news, is there?
I mean, the last segment to finish you off in a jolly mood after they've utterly depressed you for.
They'd stress you out.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's true. People's stress levels do go straight up on while watching the news. It's true.
That's why I don't watch it.
Yeah.
Right, Florida's a lot better all year round. I live in Cal, and it was the worst year of my life. Whoa. Oh, hey, Jace. They are. Right, now you'll have to get off politics. Mr. Mr. Banhammer's in the room. Oh. I'd like to explain what I'm doing, but I'm just playing. I'm exposing rocks.
I was invited once to Florida. I was just reading one of one of the comments that came up. I was invited once to Florida by somebody who bought one of my paintings, and he said to me with a smile on his face, he said, "You can come and stay in the summer house down by the alligator pool." I said, "No, thank you."
Did you see that video of that alligator climbing a fence?
No.
In one of those American places where they've learned to climb the fences they have running along the glades.
Yeah,
to stop them coming out and climbing over them.
Wow. And I don't think they'd be able to do that because they're such heavy.
Oh yeah, but there's a video on YouTube of one literally climbing over it, and it's a good 4-foot fence, they are, to keep them in, and
nature will adapt. If you put something in its way, it will find a way over it.
That's very true.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Alligator climbing the fence. Yeah, good. Google it. Go have a look at the video.
I know, that sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Unbelievable.
Fred, you really need to look it up. It's unbelievable. Kat said it.
Oh.
Yeah, so if other people have seen it. People are talking paints. Jake's got his banana in. Yeah. Oh, now people are Jake's waving his banana, and everyone's like, "Oh, let's stop the politics." Oh. Soak that down. All I'm doing is I've just got a piece in front of me, and I'm just basically blending some rocks into the piece. I don't want them sitting on top like big clusters just sitting there. I want them sitting in. So all I've done is I've put them down, they've glued down, and I've gone over them with a filler. Slightly watered down, rubbed them all over, let the filler settle, and then what I'm doing is gently cleaning the filler off the top. Okay, so what I get is essentially rocks that look like they're embedded in the ground.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, anyway, let's change the topic. Yeah, our build. Right, you've been playing. You're into tanks, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
15 mil. Playing it with Pat.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Pat, she always beats me.
Does she play Germans?
We've swapped over.
So she always beats you.
We've played both. Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna have to buy yourself a better tank.
I know she's very good actually. Pat is at strategy. I think
Pat. Well, at the end of the day, you're the creative. Pat does the business in your side, so
that's
she's
exactly it. Yeah.
So she's got you nailed before you even deploy.
Yeah. No, I'm coming in fuzzy headed, and Pat's already worked out how she's going to knock me out.
So, tanks. Yeah, Gale Force 9 / Battlefront's tanks. What? 15 mil, is it? I think it is. 3x3 board, do you reckon, guys? Do you reckon that would be big enough for a decent enough sort of like skirmishy play board? I'm going to leave that with you guys and let you come back. I saw what Grog did it. That's a new Judge Dredd game. Yeah, what do you call it? the new Judge Dredd's game. I don't jump on these sort of IP games. There's a lot of them that come along, and today I haven't seen many that I've actually really grounded and developed a following. I think the problem is, with things like Terminator and Judge Dredd and these sort of things.
Yeah.
They're great iconic sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes... In fact, caveats, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, is probably the only IP that I've seen with a decent miniature following.
Right.
Because Games Workshop... I like the game. You know what I mean? I like the models and I like what they did with it.
Yeah.
But with regards to Terminator and and same with Judge Dredd and these sort of things, yeah, they're great to watch, but the actual world to play in isn't yours.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I do know. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, Judge Dredd's been going a long time actually. Judge
Yeah,
Dredd,
yeah, it's an
70s,
iconic. Yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah.
Mate of mine, he works for the company that makes it.
Really?
Yeah. I almost ended up on it, but he left the company.
Yeah.
I almost ended up on the Netflix series.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like I say, he left the company. I was going to be a druggie. Yeah, he was going to cover me in puke and everything. It's just because I haven't got a green card, so I can't have a speaking role or anything like that. All I can be is just background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to be a judge.
Yeah.
I wanted the peacemaker, and I want the I am the law. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. He goes, no, you're going to be a drug addict, a bum on the street.
Oh, that's a roll.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks for that. But yeah, I want to do it. I know, Mal. I provided some stuff for the Beasts of War community for Dread. What do you call it? Flying. Yeah, I think with the IP games, that is the case. People get into them and there's a novelty, but there's just not... I mean, the difference with with Lord of the Rings is it's so fleshed out.
Yeah.
That there's enough of the world for you to exist in without needing to go near the storyline.
Yeah, Tolkien really made an elaborate job of not only writing the book, but actually creating a whole mythical land.
Oh God, yeah.
With maps and
language
and everything. Yeah, it's quite
very much
unbelievable.
so.
It's kind of like it's a mixture. It's based on a mixture of very old Anglo-Saxon and other old languages.
Do you know what you call it?
So,
do you know
it actually has bases.
Do you know the trench scenes in the Tolkien film? Yeah, our moderator Jez. Yeah, worked on that bit.
Right,
yeah, muddying up uniforms and
down in New Zealand.
I don't know where he was, to be truthful.
It was filmed in New Zealand.
I assume he was in New Zealand then.
Yeah.
But no, Jez worked on that one.
Wow, nice one. It's a very interesting project to be involved in.
Oh yeah, very much so. Right, good company, good franchise, dedicated fans, Lord of the Rings game. Yeah, exactly. Puke covered druggie, nice. I know. Mel, wanting to model Mafia 2 in one. Love the. Do it. GW's Judge Dredd system was great. Recent offerings have been poor. I vaguely remember when I first got into the hobby that GW had a Dredd game. Yeah, but that was really early doors. I think it was White Dwarf 120. Yeah. It's a monthly magazine, and they're I don't know, what is it? Issue 800 now. We're talking decades ago. Yeah.
Actually, just as a footnote to what we just talked about, the Lord of the Rings, there's not a lot of people know there's actually a connection between Stoke-on-Trent.
Oh, there's a massive
Lord
connection.
Of the Rings, yeah. Because Tolkien's brother was the curate of the vicar of the church at Hartsell.
Well,
and he used to come and visit him quite frequently in the 1930s. And there's some people who reckon that visiting Stoke-on-Trent inspired him to write that part of the Lord of the Rings where he goes to Solomon's Empire, and there's all smoke and
because of all the pot banks and all the industry and all the fires,
and smoke and everything.
The Shire was inspired by Shropshire.
Yeah, I could believe that as well.
Yeah,
So
there's at Hawkstone Follies. There's houses built into the hillside that go back to Victorian times. And he was inspired by those, and that's where he got the idea from the Shire from. But C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, and who's the other one? There's another famous C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, and I can't remember. there's another one.
On the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, but they were all in the same writing club at Birmingham.
Yeah.
Now, do you know where the Two Towers comes from?
No.
The water towers from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've got the
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Two Towers. Yeah, it's the Two Towers, isn't it?
The Twin Towers, yeah.
Not the Twin Towers, that's America, but the, the second book is the Two Towers.
Oh, the Two Towers. Yeah, Solomon's Empire.
Yeah. But no,
That's
but that was by from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
Oh, I didn't know that, yeah.
Yeah, but C.S. Lewis was a mate of his.
Yeah.
And apparently lots of the Narnia things are inspired by Birmingham.
Right, yes, I would... it's amazing how all these things are always connected together, isn't it? When you start reading, you wouldn't think there's any connection between those, but there is, yeah. They all knew each other, these people.
I imagine, though, in those days,
swapped
there
ideas.
weren't many people doing that sort of thing. And
Absolutely, yeah. It would have been a small club. I think they all went to Oxford. Or they'd
yeah,
been
they
to
were all
Oxford.
they were in a writing club together, weren't they?
Yes, I believe so, yeah. I think they used to meet in a pub. So a suitable place to be.
Right, keep an eye on comments. So Mordor was modelled off Stoke, not a selling point, methinks, but true. And yeah, you
Stoke,
can eat.
Stoke how it was then, not how it is now.
Even so, even so, mate. Right.
Yeah. I can remember Stoke in the 1950s being, very, very smoky. Before the Clean Air Act came in the early 60s, it was very smoky in this area.
Yeah. I mean, well, you see the old photos. I mean, what did they reckon? We had something like 2,000 pot banks, kilns.
Yes, they were everywhere. And of course, not just that, every house had a coal fire.
Yeah.
So that was belching out smoke in the winter as well. So the combination was pretty grimy and sooty.
Yeah.
And smelly. You could hardly breathe. We used to get pea soup fogs here, just like in London.
Well, we don't now.
No, it's Clean Air Act. Cleared that up. So actually, Stoke's a lot cleaner than it used to be, actually.
Stoke's, did you know that Stoke is technically the greenest city in the country?
That doesn't surprise me, because virtually anywhere in the city you can see green fields beyond the houses. Yeah.
The thing is, Stoke isn't a normal city. Stoke was an amalgamation of towns that grew in together. So there's a lot of green space between them that's been maintained, especially when the old potteries were knocked down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And industrial land became brown land, got developed into green land. And so we've got, by ratio or something, we've got more greenery in Stoke than any other city in the country.
Yeah. Yeah, and the city's only been a city for about 100 years.
Yeah.
So it's quite a young city, really.
Striking as I've been to Stoke, found it to be quite a pleasant northern town. You didn't stay long. Some parts are, some parts not.
Yeah. It's much maligned, actually, Stoke, and I sometimes wonder why, because it's really, actually, the quality of life here is not that bad at all, actually, in comparison with central London, where, the burglary rates, the car theft rates, the mugging rate is way higher than it is here.
To be truthful, mate, it depends. It depends on how much income you've got. Because I come off the estates.
Yeah.
And you see life on the estates for those. And, you've got to remember Stoke's one of the worst areas for child poverty.
That's certainly true, yes.
You know what I mean?
Child services in this area are not too good either.
No. I mean, we've got a bit of a drama going on with that. Yeah. The council's doing major cutbacks because they got investigated by the regulatory body, and our child social services for the council was found to be drastically inadequate. Yeah, and so I mean, the cutbacks have even affected the site without going into details.
They'd be draconian.
Yeah. But it's what you need to do to protect the kids.
Yeah.
So you do it.
That's certainly important. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But like I say, I'm going to put a bit of PV on there. Do there. Sadly, almost 33% is classed in top areas of the UK for deprivation. Yeah, about a third. Mordor is actually a place over in here in Wales.
Yes, I once stayed in a Welsh chieftain's cottage in Machynlleth in Wales.
Ah, no, Machynlleth, well.
Yeah, Machynlleth's an interesting place. And I'll never forget that place, because...
Isn't that where the Alternative Centre for Technology is? Machynlleth.
That was probably before my time, after my time, because I was there a long time ago, back in the 80s, 70s, 80s.
I'm sure I went when I was about 10 in school, so it'd be about mid-80s.
Now, I was, again, a bit after my time there, because I was there in the 70s.
Right.
This Welsh chieftain's cottage, 12th, 13th century cottage, was one of those things that when you walked in through the door, you carried on walking in through the door because the walls were so thick.
Oh God, yeah.
It was only a cottage, but it was like built like a castle.
Yeah.
It was siege proof.
Oh God, yeah. We used to live back when I lived on Anglesey. And one of the houses we lived in was an old blacksmith's forge. Yeah, and I remember as a child sitting in the windowsills with space either side of me because the walls were that thick. Never cold. As long as it was warm.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds strange, but as long as the bricks were warm and the house was warm, it was always warm. But I remember once we had the heating went off and the boiler broke for about a week, and that place got cold.
Very cold. Yeah, then it would take a long time to heat.
Yeah. Same thing with this place, though, isn't it? You know, with the bricks in here.
Yeah, concrete floors. Yeah.
You know,
they get cold, chilled through.
So, but as long as you keep a little bit of heat in them, it's actually quite comfortable.
Yeah. So it doesn't take that much heat to keep it warm, actually.
No, it's only a tick over.
The infrastructure warms up, and then
it's maintaining it. That's the important thing.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes those old buildings, the only trouble with them is that they often don't have damp-proof courses, old buildings.
Yeah.
So, you get rampaging damp coming up the walls.
Spode. Says it all.
Yeah. I once lived in a cottage that was a converted velvet mill.
Right.
Part of it. It actually made it into 3 cottages, this velvet mill. And I was in the centre one. And unbeknownst to me, it was built in 1710. Unbeknownst to me, velvet mills needed water to press the velvet, to steam the velvet with.
So
they always had a water source in the building. And of course, the water source in the building was right where my house was. And underneath the living room floor was a well.
Oh God!
So every winter it used to be like the damp would just come up the walls about 7 or 8 feet.
You don't need that, do you?
No, not good.
No, that's the last thing you need, to be truthful. Yeah. Worst area is in Bentley, actually, Mel, where Beverly Drive meets Divity Road and another road, apparently. Yeah, basically. Not far from where I live. Wells contains every alien world ever shown on Doctor Who. Very true. Very true. That's fine sand.
I was always very impressed by the theme tune for Doctor Who, actually. That was
spooky.
Decades ahead of its time. That was electronic music, way before anybody else had really done it.
Yeah, that was just freaky, to be truthful. Yeah. You scare the bejeebers out of me.
They used a theremin, which is it was invented by a Russian called theremin.
Right.
Which makes that kind of spooky.
Sound, the weird machine thing.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for some grit. Basing. It'll be in basing. Abrasives, casting, adhesives, Burma build, airbrush, scratch, spares, water effects. Right, where have I put my bloody basing stuff? This is what happens when you let Jace reorganise your studio. Damn you, Jace Green! That'll do. That's what I'm after. In fact, we'll go for some of that. That looks nice. Just a bit mixture of grit.
Yeah.
I've done that thing where I've reached the point where I've run out of one particular grade of grit and I need to sieve a load more up. So, little sample packs and stuff like that from other kits.
Can you disengage the surface off sandpaper to use for that?
No point.
Yeah,
I mean, we use sandpaper for roads, lay it down as a road.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, there's no point in going down that route and the effort.
Right. Yes.
I mean, to be truthful, you can just birdcage Grit.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, aquarium stuff, builders' yards.
Mm.
So there's loads of opportunities of getting it. I just need to get some more.
Mm-hmm.
What you after, mate? I can tell you from memory. When Doctor Who is coming back with Doctor that understands the part. Ah, yeah, bit controversial with regards to the all-female Doctor. I actually don't blame her for that. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a massive fan of that season. Yeah? But it wasn't her. At the end of the day, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Yeah? There's been female doctors in the past. Love Dr. Donna. Yeah? But ultimately, yeah, all she's got to do is perform the script that's written for her.
Right, yeah.
And to be truthful, the storylines and the scripting in that series were awful.
Yeah.
I can remember reading somewhere that they brought in a new writing team for the season.
Say they vary the writers, don't they?
Yeah, but the entire team had no sci-fi background for Doctor Who.
God.
And I'll be honest with you, I was disappointed with it because, I mean, a load of people turned around and went, oh, this, that, the other, and that's not my style. Yeah. But the one thing that I've never seen the Doctor be, is scared.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The Doctor's many things.
Yeah.
But you've never seen the Doctor scared.
No.
I mean, even when he faced the Daleks.
Right.
If you're flapping a bit.
Yeah.
But never really. And then, but in the stories they wrote for Jodie Whittaker, they had her as scared. Yeah. Which broke the Doctor for me.
For it.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And not just that, the actual storylines were rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, in comparison to the stuff that we've had in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, Doctor Who had the Bad Wolf Arch story. Yeah. And that ran over so many seasons and they fitted it in so many places that when they revealed it to you, you actually became aware that they've been doing this for years on you without you knowing and building the storyline up.
Yeah.
You know, it was brilliant stuff and challenging. Yeah. You know, and there was lots of times when I used to watch Doctor Who where it'd be like, where you get the moral dilemma.
Yes.
Or, you know, the no-win situation either way. And you're like, how would you handle... Yeah, and then you got to the new writers and it was bland and boring.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they had a copper in it, who was shy and didn't step forward and didn't take, you know, and it's like, no, if she's a police officer, that's not how they would act.
No.
You know, you wouldn't have a civvy taking, not just the Doctor, but a normal just woman off the street. Yeah. And I'm talking about one of the other cast, not even the Doctor role. Being more powerful than a police officer. You would expect police officers are always assert authority.
Yeah, well, they have training to assert themselves, don't they?
Yeah, very much so.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, and they live in an environment where they're constantly expected to assert themselves to the extent that it's the norm for them.
Yes.
You know, and so that broke it for me as well.
Yes. I've had friends in the police in the past, and it's a very tough job. I wouldn't like to do it.
Yeah, Miko's saying the only time the Doctor seemed frightened, it's for the safety of his companions, not for his own sake. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll go with that. You know, he does show concern and worry. But I never saw him worried in the way that they wrote it for Jodie. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, yeah, kind of...
It broke the Doctor for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I actually like Jodie Whittaker. She's a good actress. You know, and then, I mean, some of the stuff she's done is brilliant. But she just got really bad writers for that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The series do vary, the writers, I believe. So, yeah, you're going to get good seasons, bad seasons.
Yeah. I mean, they've put it on suspension and we're waiting to see what happens. So I'll just hold off. But I hope they drag it back round the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a British staple, isn't it? So it's been going since forever.
Well, it's iconic sci-fi.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The very early ones are collector's items now.
I remember watching them as a kid.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Them running upstairs because the Daleks were coming.
Yeah, Mel, I watched them as I was a kid. That's how old they are. Yeah.
The current Doctor Who series has the TARDIS crashing in every episode. Oh, calm down, Jimmy. And yeah, you take cover in a bunker. And Kez will kill you. Well, she is female and they're always Oh, Jace, you're as bad. Comments like that, you'll have me channel bloody flagged. Calm down with you. Stereotyping of aliens. Because essentially she's an alien. She's got 2 hearts. She's from Gallifrey.
That's probably why they wrote in a more empathic character without having 2 hearts.
No.
No, you don't think?
No, because she's had 2 hearts. He's had she, alien, it's whatever. No. Yeah, because it's an alien at the end of the day.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, has had 2 hearts the entire time. Oh, and actually, it's been in times, they've written the Doctor to be quite brutal. You know what I mean? Almost in that sort of medical way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That this is the good thing, and it's going to, it's going to hurt you, but it's for you.
It's medicine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yeah. Well, it's based on basically the H.G. Wells time travelling idea, H.G. Wells started the story, really, with, Doctor Who is just an elaboration of it.
Right, okay. Oh, yeah, because he did the time traveller, didn't he?
Time
with
traveller,
the
yes.
chair and the Orlocks, was it? The underground ones.
I think you're right, yeah. It's a long time since I read that, a long time ago, but yeah, I think you're right.
I can't remember the overgrounds, but the bottom ones were called Orlocks.
Yeah.
And I think that's the original, I think that's where orcs came from.
Could be, yeah. The Tolkien got that from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were, brutish, slow, sluggish, unintelligent, large creatures that dwelled in caves.
Yeah, you travel into the future and society split into different elements, yeah. With a superior race and then an inferior one. Yeah. I think you're right, actually. Yeah, you also read War of the Worlds as well.
Yes, good.
These things were written in the 1890s, which is
crazy,
mind-boggling, actually. Yeah, what an imagination.
I know. And now we struggle to get decent TV.
Yeah.
With all our ability to share ideas, the classics are the stuff that from the past.
Yeah.
Nice to listen to you. But what you're building there, can't tell you.
No,
sometimes the doctors seem to be very callous. Yeah, very much in the medical way.
Yeah.
With regards to favourite doctors for me, David Tennant. I really liked him. I thought he was a good doctor.
Yes, I like David Tennant. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah,
he was good. But there was the original one as well, Pertwee.
I remember him.
That's going back a long way. He had white hair.
Yeah.
He was very good. Yeah, I liked him too. Yeah. Can't remember his first name now. Something Pertwee.
Is it John?
Could be. Yeah. I don't think he's with us anymore.
I think he's gone as well.
It's a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they used to do the sci-fi circuits. Yeah, and sort of like do the Comic Cons and signing and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him on any promotional material in a long time.
No.
So I don't know if he's still around or.
Well, he was one of the best doctors, I thought. Yeah.
Tom Baker is the king and anything. Oh, shut up, Jace.
Tom Baker, yeah, with a scarf.
John Pertwee, right, there you go.
John Pertwee, John was it, yeah.
First policeman was played by Bernard Cribbins, I remember.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
In fact, wasn't he in later?
Bernard Cribbins, he might have made a kind of like a cameo.
Well, wasn't he the granddad of Donna? Because he was the one in the yard with that's Bernard Cribbins, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the telescope.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Bernard Cribbins was
white beard.
Yeah.
I am right on that, aren't I, guys?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I think it was Bernard Cribbins, yeah. He was a 50s, 60s actor.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong on that. You know what I mean? Because I like the shows, but I don't really follow celebrities and names, and it's just never been my thing.
Yeah. It's like the theme or the concept that's most
John Pertwee, Wurzel Gummidge. Eli on the surface, that was it. John died in 1996. Rest in peace, John.
Oh.
Who was the third Doctor after William Hartnell and Patrick Troy? Now you're going back.
Gosh, yes, William Hartnell, yes, wow.
I don't even know who that is.
Yes, I remember William Hartnell, yes. He was in one of the... I think that was the very first Doctor, I think. When the Daleks were first introduced. And in those days, the stage sets, when a character leaned against the door, it kind of like bent.
Right.
Or it moved, yeah.
Still the same. Right. Yeah, Defo Bernard Cribbins. So it's Donna's granddad.
Yeah.
That's cool. So he was in the start,
Yeah.
you know, and not in the end, but, you know, in the current as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's good continuity.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just put this a little bit down.
Well, those kinds of programs are good. I mean, Star Trek as well is another one, because they kind of like, in a science fiction kind of format or way, deal with issues that are important to people.
Yeah, Star Trek's a particular one for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so Next Generation always did that.
Yeah.
You know, they you know, present a moral dilemma in,
Yes.
you know, a current moral dilemma,
Yeah.
but present it in a futuristic setting with, you know,
Yeah.
with different factions.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you looked at it, you could go, you know, they're looking at, you know, apartheid, they're looking at this, they're looking at that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like fictionalized, but it's based on like values systems that are relevant. Yeah.
Very much so.
So particularly good for young people to watch things like that.
Yeah,
'cause
you
it
are
gives
gets the
them
brain thinking.
Yeah, it gives them something to think about. Yes. Yeah.
Right, that's done. I just need to leave that to dry now. I don't want to touch it.
I have this theory that, you know, all intolerance in the world will probably pretty much evaporate once they discover another life somewhere else,
Yeah,
because then there'll be
because then we can be intolerant to that.
then there will be another
Yeah.
that everybody can dislike. Yeah.
Well, I always used to say, what do you call it? You know, the English, the Welsh, the Scottish, the Irish always used to fight until they went to war together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when they got back, they started fighting with each other. It's what we do. We're tribal. You know what I mean? And the moment we have an you know, an external threat, yeah, we'll just all join together and go, we ate him.
Well, that's it. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people forget that, you know, without the Prussians at the Battle of Waterloo, we would have probably have lost, because they came in at the 11th hour and flanked the French.
Yeah.
Which
We all know Sharp.
unnerved the French. It unnerved them. Yeah, they lost the nerve.
Sharp and his chosen men.
Yeah.
The only people who've managed to keep Sean Bean alive. Have you heard he's actually got to a stage now where he's refusing to do roles where if he gets killed?
Really? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
to be truthful, to be fair,
Yeah.
I don't blame the guy.
He's actually currently in a program called World on Fire, playing a conscientious objector
Ooh.
during World War II. And he's a conscientious objector, yeah, during World War II. That's an interesting role for him.
Ah.
That's worth seeing. World on Fire, it's called.
I'll check it out, mate.
Sunday nights.
Check it
yeah.
out.
It's good. Very good.
Not to forget, the Prussians had already fought a big battle that day. Yeah, they fought a battle and then they came on, finished off, didn't they?
Marshal Blucher.
Yeah. A new Star Trek series called Picard is looking promising. They've got they've got pretty much all the old cast back into that, from what I'm hearing.
All right. Yeah.
From the next gen, so
Yeah.
that is looking quite interesting.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that before.
You know, so I'm quite curious about that, to be perfectly honest.
Picard, I've not heard of that.
Picard, Jean-Luc Picard, he was the captain in Star Trek. So they're bringing
yeah,
out,
I know, but I haven't heard the series now.
but no, they're bringing out a new series. It's been announced and everything, so
right.
it should be good.
Yeah.
Right, I am done now, and to be truthful, I'm not feeling 100%.
Yes, it's flu season here, I'm afraid, so everybody's got one thing or another, colds or flus.
No, I was thrown up earlier, so
Were you? Really?
yeah.
Yeah, Marshal Blucher, you have to admire Marshal Blucher at the Battle of Waterloo. He led from the front, he was 78, and he had 3 horses shot from underneath him that day. Three horses, yeah, and he got back on and carried on. 78. They don't make them like that anymore. Yeah.
Well, then again, they were a different cast back then, weren't they?
Yeah, they're tough people, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
For most people, having 1 horse shot from underneath them would be enough for that
Yeah,
day.
just call it a day then. I think my horse is gone, I'm going to call it a day.
Yeah.
Right, guys, we're coming up on, what do you call it? It looks like about 15 minutes to 9. Now, I've got Corbin at Cadet, so I've got to head home and that sort of stuff, and I'm not feeling brilliant. So, listen, guys, I'm just going to call it, because I don't want to see you lot watching me heave, which I feel like I'm about to.
Oh dear.
So, I'm going to knock it on the head. I will be back on Sunday, live show. Yeah, and then hopefully back to normal next week, guys. Yeah? Fingers crossed. In the meantime, listen, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the little chat and keeping us company. I know I haven't been able to show you anything. You know the crack, but I did want to reach out to you, even though I'm not feeling 100%, and just, you know, say hi and have a little natter. Yeah, once the book's done, we can get back to normal, guys. And in all future, if I ever do another book in the future, I'll write it before we do the Kickstarter, so we don't have this palaver again. Right, okay, guys, I'm going to call it now. Yeah, because I'm not feeling good. Right, listen, you guys, I will catch you Sunday night. Look after yourself, yeah?
Bye, friends.
All the best. Ta-ra.
Cheers.
Oh, God.